Aristotle once said that man is by nature a social animal. An individual who is unsocial naturally and not accidentally is either beneath our notice or more than human.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together.
Society is something that precedes the individual. Anyone who either cannot lead the common life or is so self-sufficient as not to need to, and therefore does not partake of society, is either a beast or a god. This means that it is part of our nature, part of who we are to be in society and interact daily with others. One of the clearest ways in which we can see these interactions between different people is through democratic governments. Democracy is a government by the people in which the majority rules. However, people are different, and depending on their society, have personal and collective needs. Then democracy is not the same depending from where you are from. Democracy is malleable. For example, sometimes people contribute directly, like in ancient Greece. However, nowadays it is common for people to elect representatives that will make the decision for them. It changes from place to place, but we cannot say that one works better than the other. Depending on many factors, one type can be more effective than other in a determined society. There is no right or wrong in terms of how to organize a society, as long as every person feels truly protected and respected by it. This is why we see so many different regimes and events occurring all over the world. For example, how David will mention in a few moments of how Italy's political scheme functions.
I'm going to condense the current political climate of Italy right now. I think it's relevant to the discussion of democracy, just because Italy is, on paper, one of the best places for democracy in the world right now. We have around the 90% voter turnout, which would put us as the best in the world, compared to the United States, around 40%. And Italy is also famous for having a very vast political spectrum, ranging from socialists and anarchists on the left to fascists on the right. But I want to talk about primarily our election right now and where the state of Italy's democracy is. Currently, we have plenty of fascist candidates, which is quite concerning from a country who has previously had a terrible fascist regime. And we find ourselves at the best case scenario moving forward is voting for our former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. And I say best case scenario with a grain of salt. Berlusconi, during his previous tenure, abused his power to solicit bribes, had sex scandals with various 16-year-old girls, reworked the country's financial policy to really benefit his own private interests, including one of the biggest football clubs in the world, AC Milan, which he was an owner of. And as far as working with other leaders, calling Angela Merkel an unfuckable lardass. So unfortunately, we do find ourselves, and I find myself, saying that this is the best case for our country moving forward, simply because there's no other option. And this is the worst case scenario for democracy, when people become so complacent that we almost feel a bit satisfied not voting for the worst case scenario, but just voting for, the lesser of two evils.
Overall, while democracy succeeds as a system to fulfill its intent, the truth of the matter is that it will always be contextual to the people within it. The concept of democracy and its watered-down forms like republics and various parliaments are always adored, yet it will always be dragged down by the flaws within its people. Not until society has the ambition to see both sides of an issue and strive to see beyond their own interests in favor of the state and all the people who have access to unbiased and comprehensive education, then could democracy be more than just government by the people, but the best form of government.